Hello everyone, it's me, Carol Kumori, and today I'm going to bring you a tutorial on how to do reflect motion and how to flip your meshes in Live2d. So you save a lot of time for anything symmetrical you need to do on either side of your model. I really wish I knew this information when I started making my models, because it would have saved me a lot more time. For this lesson, we will be using my model of changeling cookie, which is just me as a cookie run cookie. And now let's go ahead and look at our model. I've already actually done the rigging for the left eye and the left eyebrow, but I'm gonna be doing some final checks just because before you flip your eye, you'd like to go and check everything. Just make sure that everything's nice and smooth, because once you've done the flipping and the reflecting and just setting up your eye and everything, and then you realize there's something you need to fix, so you'll have to fix both eyes. In that case, I'll probably just fix them both like separately and try to make it as accurately mirrored as possible. But that's a lot of work. So if you could just, polish everything as much as you can before you flip it, that will save you a lot more time. So over here, I'm just doing some final touches to my eye and just, swiping through the parameters, just trying to look for anything I can fix before I go ahead and flip the eye. And now I think this is done. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove the bangs, just, so I have better vision of the eyebrows. I do recommend for people to just remove the bangs and they're gonna start to do the rigging for the eyebrows as well, or the eyes, because those are kind of distracting sometimes. I usually just end up hiding the entire folder for the hair. Well, here I've switched to display capture so that I can show you the things that don't really show when they do window capture in OBS. So here we're going to copy paste or duplicate the eyebrows. Select the mesh and just go Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and then you've got it. Go ahead and remove that rotation deformer over there. You don't need it. I'm just gonna be scooting over here a bit just so there's better vision. Man, I don't know where to go, but I need to show you the right click on how to do the reflect. You might feel tempted to go ahead and just move it to the other side where it's supposed to be, but you shouldn't do that, because when you swipe the parameter, it's gonna lock in to that location. It's gonna assume that that's a mesh movement that you did and not you trying to reposition the eyes. If you want to do it like that, you'll have to do it for each parameter, and that's just too much work. Don't waste your time. So go ahead and reflect it. Right click and reflect the eyebrow, and then here's the little thingy that comes out. It says reflect horizontally, and if you do the reflect the parameters, it's gonna go swoop the other way, but you don't need to do that because the eyebrow form is the same for both the right and left, so you don't have to reflect that. And now your eyes are reflected, and earlier we the other eyebrow, I lowered the opacity of it so that it'll act as a guide for the new eyebrow. So don't just swoop it to the other side. What you're supposed to do is click the warp deformer, make a warp deformer for the new eyebrow, and rename it. So I'm gonna rename this one right brow, because this is the right brow I have selected. Actually, yeah, do rename your eyebrows. I forgot to say it earlier, and I think I might have clipped the video part of that one. But that's what you're supposed to do. Rename the eyebrow that you duplicated to eyebrow R, or whatever you want to name it to, just to remind yourself that that's the new eyebrow R, and then there you go. Now at this point, I did realize that I might have made some mistakes by just duplicating the mesh directly. Although you can do that, it'll probably just waste your time. Man, I'm making a lot of mistakes while making this video. But what you should do is go ahead and make a warp deformer for your left eyebrow before you flip it. And you can duplicate the deformer alongside the left eyebrow so that you'll have like a left and a right eyebrow all at once with a warp deformer. And if you can, like before you put the left eyebrow onto the before like duplicating the left eyebrow, go ahead do the brow X and brow Y. Like those are pretty important This way you won't have to like have to duplicate that as well. Just do everything you need to do, because I'm an idiot and I only did the brow form. You should do the brow form and angle on your mesh, and then do the X and Y on your warp deformer. Here we go. So you can actually select the eyebrow and the eyebrow warp deformer and just reflect it all at once. So here you can see that it mirrors like exactly when I copy it. That's because they're on the same parameter. So go ahead and just don't click the reflect parameters and just reflect it. So now they're it's in the right way. It's facing the right way, but it's still rigged to the left eyebrow form movement. So I'm just gonna go move back here so I can show you the parameters. This is the eyebrow R guideline, so you're gonna follow that. Go ahead and move your warp deformer to perfectly fit in to the little opacity thing you did. So once you've done that, everything should move like this. They move with the same parameter. So we have to go and fix that, because that's not how it's supposed to go. So just go ahead and select your right eyebrow, and you can see over here, right? That's the left. Oh, sorry. I guess you can't see it because I'm covering it. But that little thing with the 3 green dots, that's the brow L form. So what we need to do now is switch the right brow parameter to the brow R form. So go ahead and click that little decimal thingy value on the side of your thing and click change, and then go ahead and click the form that you need to, or the parameter you need to switch it to. So in this case, it'll be brow R form. So now if you move it, it's going to be independent from the brow L form. So now you can go and delete your other brow R form, which is this one, eyebrow R. Go delete that. Now that it's all done with, you can see that when you switch the brow L form and brow R form, they go different directions, the 2 eyebrows. And we're done with that. Now we have to move on to the eyes. So once again, we will lower the opacity of the original right eye parts, and just, you know, just as a guide, so when we duplicate, we'll know where to put the other eye. Now let's go ahead and select the left eye parts, the top lid, the bottom lid, and the iris for this, in this case, of this model. And just go and copy paste it. So I realized that there's a rotation deformer. You don't have to delete that, I don't think. You can use it to move the eye to the other direction. It'll work exactly the same as the warp deformer. But I didn't think of it at the time of recording this video, and now that I'm doing the voiceovers, it's a bit too late to change that, but that's how it works, I think. It's also a new thing, I think, for Live2d, because I don't remember them having it in the older version that I used to use, but they must have added it in the new update of Live2d Cubism. Now we're going to rename everything. Rename the left and to the right. Just turn everything. This is how I name my things. It's just like top lid, R, or L, or something like that, so it's easy to change later on. So I just put all the L's and just replace them with an R. At this point, I decided to just feed through my entire process because it's gonna be exactly the same as what we did with the eyebrows. So we're just gonna speed through it, just so I don't waste your time, and we can head right over to reflect motion for the head turns. It might look like I'm doing a lot of things right now, but it's mostly just me tweaking a bunch of stuff I forgot to fix in my eyes. It's not something I'll be teaching you in this lesson, because this lesson's gonna be focused on flipping your meshes and just kind of doing the reflect motion for head turns, just making your life simpler. There's a lot of very helpful tutorials out there for Live2d, some that I partook in myself, but there wasn't a lot of them that were teaching you how to do the reflect or just, you know, making your life simpler by flipping. That was something I didn't find when I was making my model. I don't know if it exists right now. If it does, well, I haven't seen it yet. So I thought I'd make my own just because I learned this pretty late into the game, like maybe a month or 2 after I started using Live2d. Alright, here we are. Here's my model without the hair. I've added some stuff to it, like these hand rotations and the folders there in the corner, and I pretty much put a warp deformer on everything. And yeah, it's basically all set for like full body rigging. But we're not gonna be including that. I'm just going to be focusing on fixing the face today. Just the head rotation, just to show you how to use reflect motion on your model. And maybe next time I'll show off my cookie model once it's done, because it is almost done. At the time of me editing this video, it is like in its final stages, and I'll probably be premiering, just showing it off on a Twitch stream first before showing it off on YouTube. So we select the warp deformer for the face, easy, and I kind of somehow took it out of the deformer, so I just dragged it back in, and this is basically ready. But don't be like me. Several times in making this video, I forgot to click set my parameters, and I ended up just having to undo and go back. Because once you didn't set your parameters and you just go ahead and do your head turns, you're gonna regret it. Because for one thing, the animation's gonna be locked in whatever form you changed it to. So you're gonna have to undo, go back, and hopefully you haven't gone so far into the rigging or the deformation that you can't undo anymore, because that will make you cry. It has when that happened to me, thankfully sometimes I have my model saved, so I would just kind of exit the program and just go back to my last save. And of course I lose like hours of progress, but it's just not worth it. It's not worth it to just, you know, lose your default form. So go ahead and click your deformer, and before you do anything, go ahead and go to your I made a head folder for mine, but usually it's just like out there when you start your model. And it's easier, much more easier, or much more organized if you have it all in a folder. So when you kind of have to look for the parameter, you don't get super confused. For fixing up your model and just kind of organizing your entire setup here, I recommend downloading the free models on Live2d website, and you can open them and just see how everything is organized. It'll help you kind of figure out how you're supposed to fix all of these things. Anyway, over here I click the three-way point thingy, and now we have it all set. I go to -30, which is the head turn to the right. For me, the head turn to the right is a bit more easier because I usually draw my characters looking to the right. And as you can see, my current model, the one on the corner, can only turn like far right and can't turn very much to the left direction of the face. That's because I didn't do reflect motion for this current model that I'm working with, and it can't turn that way too much because I was too uncomfortable with making the face turn left because I forgot to make a guide. That was another mistake I made, but in this model it's a bit more simpler. So I'm just gonna go and do my easy technique where I select the points on the mesh or the warp deformer grid mesh thingy, and I just kind of drag them along the way. Just kind of move them a little bit. Just like use my keyboard to make little tweaks on it. It's a bit more simpler than using the curve things that I know that other people use it. They say it's more reliable, but recently I've just been doing this because it's a bit more easy to control for me. Anyway, this should be done. We've made the head turn that way. So I'm gonna show you how to do the reflect motion. On your upper tabs, go to modeling and parameters, and then click reflect motion. And over here, it will tell you like which deformer will be affected by this reflect motion. And it will say over here, angle -30, because that's what we're facing right now, and that's the point that we're at. And you're supposed to go to that side that you've already done a motion for, and that's before you click the reflect motion. And once you've clicked it, it will make the opposite direction. So if you're at negative, it will turn it positive and flip it that way. So it's very simple, and you do flip horizontally because we're looking from side to side. I think it should work the same way if you're looking up and down, but I haven't tried it yet, actually. I'm sorry, I really didn't think it through, because now that I'm editing, it's the only time I thought that I should do a turnaround for looking down and up and, you know, all the other directions. But the gingerbread model really didn't require me to do that, so I didn't think it through. I'll definitely make a follow-up video because I do want to get this video released by today. So I'll make a follow-up video, I promise. If you made it to this part of the video, I'll follow up a video with my current model, I'm gonna fix it up with the proper rigging, and that will probably be more concise with the reflect motion. And we'll do some tests. I'll do the test for you. At this point, I'm just gonna go speed up the entire process of me turning every part of the face to face the right direction, and then after that, we're gonna quickly do reflect motion to see what happens if we reflect motion the face. So if you see something in the video that you don't understand or something you'd like me to clarify, or if you have any other video suggestions for something I can do in a future video, go ahead and put it in the comments below, or you can maybe message me on Discord or Twitter, or we can chat over it in my Twitch chat when I'm streaming. I tend to stream 4 to 6 times a week, depending on how free I am. Most of the time it's an art stream or I'm playing Eternal Returns, because recently I've been very hooked on that game. Also, I've been planning to redesign my model, so hopefully I'll be able to record my entire process this time. From the line art and from the coloring until the very end of the rigging process. It's probably gonna take super long though. So I don't know how long it'll take before I can even make that video happen. Anyway, at this point we're almost completely done. And there we go. We're all done. So from here on, I'm gonna go and close the folders. It's very helpful to do that, because you want to select your deformer and not the mesh. So go ahead and click your meshes and just select the entire head. So here I'm going to select all of the deformer, the warp deformers on the head. So shift clicked all of them, and there we go. And now I'm going to reflect motion everything, and it didn't work out perfectly well, but it didn't like completely fail either. So let me show you what happened. Click it, and let me show you all of the warp deformers there. They put all the names so you're aware. And look, it's not completely perfect, of course. Look at all of the things, because what they're duplicating here, or what they're reflecting, is the shape of your deformation. And of course it's not going to be completely perfect, especially since I did some foreshortening and the other eye is smaller and the other eye is made larger. The one closer to the camera is made larger, so when it flipped, it became like this. So looks super wonky, but it only needs a bit more tweaking, and it's way faster than just doing it manually and all by yourself. I do think that this reflect motion could work better with other people's styles, but maybe it doesn't work perfectly with mine, and that's okay. It's still a lot simpler and faster. I'll just be fixing up everything right now and kind of readjusting. At this point, guides will be very helpful. So I will teach you how to make a quick guide. First you right click and then click guide. And then just click horizontal line or vertical line depending on what you need. And what I'm doing here is, from the right perspective, I just make a little guide for the area where the eye, like the bigger eye, is supposed to be, just so I know what size the other eye on the other side should be. So I'm just making the adjustments right now. I'm just kind of eyeballing it, because I don't have a choice. It'll be very helpful if you were prepared and made your turnaround, like sketches of your turnaround of your model beforehand. But I didn't find it necessary to do for such a simple model as this cookie one. So, let me just skip through the parts. I made a little guide for the horn so that the bigger horn is aligned with the other bigger horn, so that this right horn is aligned to the left horn when it's facing the other way. I kind of made a guide on top of the like horn closer to the camera. Is that, I don't know what to call it, but basically that's foreshortening, right? When you're drawing something, there's something that's closer to the screen and then something that's further away, and that will be smaller. And basically at this point I am done. I kind of cut a lot of the parts just to make the video shorter. And I make a little warp deformer for the entire head. So it's a whole head deformer apart from the head rotation. And this will just make me able to move the head a bit more. I wasn't thinking of making the complete turnaround for the cookie model, but I was thinking that the neck didn't seem quite right. So I made an angle X position for it so I can just move it a little bit more so that the neck is supposed to be where it's supposed to be. And then I realized later on that it wasn't completely necessary for me to do that for a cookie model, because cookies are basically flat, right? So this kind of perspective thing doesn't exactly mean anything, but you know what, it is what it is, and it's kinda, you know, it fits my style a bit more, because this cookie is a bit, like, leaning towards the cartoonish style of a cookie run cookie, but it's still my drawing, after all. And there you go, the turnaround looks completely good, and maybe I'll do physics for my next video, for the hair physics of the cookie model. Although the hair is just whipped cream, but I do want it to, like, you know, floop around with me. And so that's about it for my video, teaching you on how to flip your meshes and do reflect motion just to fix the symmetrical parts of your model in Live2d. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed and learned a lot. If you have any more questions, please feel free to comment. And if you like this video, go ahead and like it and subscribe to my channel so I have more motivation to post more stuff. I'm really so sorry about the scuffed quality of my video. I didn't expect the audio in my recording to, like, completely be botched and that I'll have to voice over everything, but it did make editing a bit easier now that I'm just voice overing over everything. And it might be weird that sometimes my mouth doesn't align with what I say, but what you can do? I'm really not talking live right now. Okay, what else to plug? I'm gonna plug my Twitch. I stream 4 to 6 times a week. That's a lot of times a week. I used to stream daily, but recently I've been trying not to do that because it does leave me with less time to do any of my, like, personal projects and just life stuff. Well, anyways, thanks for watching my video. I hope it helped somehow. And like, comment, and subscribe.